Good afternoon, everybody. It's Mike with smartoptiontrading.com. It is Friday, the 21st of February. This is our weekly recap, and it has been quite the week here in the market. And the last few days have been, well, kind of nasty here. And there's a lot going on, a lot to talk about. So I'm going to make it brief. If you want to join us, come over to smartoptiontrading.com. I'll put a link in the description below. Click on live trading alerts and join us. We'll get commentary like this every day, along with what we're looking to trade, what we're doing, and real-time information. So, let's go talk about what's going on here in the markets. So let's take a high level view. We have yesterday, I put a video up for you guys for free, and I talked about that we had our first day to take notice. You too, Rick. Have a great weekend. Day to take notice. Today we got some very big follow through after, opening up high. We got some big follow through here. So what's going on? Let's talk the big picture. The big picture. Let's talk what's going on here in the markets that is causing this. Well, we have a consumer that's weakening. We saw that with consumer sentiment again today. We have inflation, which is pushing up. We saw that with Michigan consumer inflation expectations again. The tariffs on China are starting to hit at, that 10% is starting to come into to the consumer, along with some of the steel and aluminum type and tariffs. The rest are still on hold, which is good. And these are all just minor things there along that. We have talk of another pandemic in China. I am not convinced of that yet. We've heard this a lot of times since the COVID one. It sounds to me like just a new strain of COVID right now, but I will wait and I will continue to watch. And as I get more information, I'll put it out there. The real problem, I think, here is that earnings just overall haven't been good. And, the big banks were great, but outside of that, you tell me what was good. The semis have been fairly bad mostly across the board. you know, Microsoft was bad, Google was bad. I didn't like Amazon's report. Tesla was a disaster. Apple was a mess. Meta guided down, but still got treated like a rock star. Same thing with Netflix. I mean, overall, just not great reports overall. So the market's been stuck here and kind of trending in this area and unable to break out or break down. And finally, it broke down today. So the first thing you need to do is look here and say volume. Okay, volume's at 50 million shares, higher than we've been. We got about 20 minutes to go. I'm going to guess we're going to finish 70 to 80 million shares. It's still not like these type of moves where you have panic. There was no panic today. Today was so orderly, it wasn't funny. So we have some selling coming in. We came to the 50-day, right? Start talking levels. Okay, if we cannot hold the 50-day on Monday, where's the next spot? Well, here's your 3% pullback at 594.83. You can write that down, pause the video if you need to. The 100-day is at 592.47. That's a big spot. And then you need to watch here. This gap. The low there is 589.20. If they really want to get this market going, they come down, they fill this gap, and they get a 5% pullback at 582.56. Keep it simple, right? So we'll see what we do next week. The Qs. They also got hit, but not as hard. Now, the Qs didn't make an all-time high. The Qs have been lagging, but not bad. The IWM has been, it's not taking me. The IWM has been the weak link and all the way down and through the 200-day today. Talked about that as a possibility last week when I do my charts on Sunday. If you guys aren't following me on Twitter at Options Mike or following my YouTube feed, you miss out on all this stuff. The financials have been the rock star of this market. Big down day yesterday, another follow through day today. It's the big names, JP Morgan getting beaten pretty good, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America down all the way under the 50-day, Citigroup. So we lost the banks we've been talking about. If we lose the banks, potential problems. All right. What else are we seeing out there? Let's talk the VIX. We have a huge move on the VIX today. The VIX is up and out of the Bollinger Bands. That means risk off, right? This has worked well. The SPY's under the 8 and the 21 day. The VIX is out of the Bollinger Bands. It's a risk off environment. I've been selling into this. I have a little bit of NVIDIA left. I have a couple NVIDIA calls, which I'll hold through earnings because they're dead. And I have some Amazon left, some IBIT. Help me out, guys. I got to remember all this. Anything else that I have? AMD, which has been underwater for a while. Okay. So I've been trimming into this and I took most of my profits as we went along here on this. And I've gotten out of a lot of it and I have small positions left, which I'm willing to ride. I don't have Coke or Pepsi, but thank you. All right. Bonds are also showing some distress signs here. Bonds moving up today. This is a flight to safety, right? What do we do when we're worried? We go for safety. Coke up today big. Pepsi up today big. Why are these moving up? They're safety names, consumer staples, right? They come running to these when things are not good. Walmart. Walmart beaten up here. I thought Walmart should have been beaten up more than it was yesterday. They guided down. They're did not a good report. They're talking about consumer issues, right? We've seen this. Costco has talked about this in the past as well, but held up there to the 21 day. SMHs, nice move up into this big gap today. Just this week, just finished filling it. That's why I got out of my SOXL. Couldn't hold, dropped today. AMD's been a mess. Down candle today. Hasn't been able to break and hold above the 21 day. Micron had a nice move earlier this week, gave it all back and then some. Qualcomm, nasty candle there today. Avgo getting beaten up some more. Taiwan Semi back down. NVIDIA reports on Wednesday. Right? Why did I trim NVIDIA into the 140 area? Because I bought it lower, a lot lower into these dips. I bought some in 120s. I bought some at 114. Time to trim down to 100 shares. Had over 500. Time to get down on this, right? Size down. Take some size, put money in your pocket. I'm happy now. I can ride 100 shares into earnings. I can add back to it, right? But warning candles here. Apple today had a decent day. Apple continues to hold better than the markets, just slightly red right now. Tried to break out today in this market. It couldn't. If this market wasn't so bad, probably would have broken out. Microsoft, which was trying to wake up, got killed today. Amazon, I did not like that report, breaking this upper range. Google into that gap here, the earnings gap. Meta, after having 20 up days in a row, finally the last 4 days have been down, getting beaten up a little bit. It's bound to happen. We'll see if it wants to go to the 50 day. Let's talk Tesla, because I know you guys love to talk Tesla. Tesla here has been sickly for a while. Not going to hide it. It came off the highs. The earnings report was a mess. We talked about if you're owning Tesla here, you're owning it because you believe in Musk's vision. There's nothing wrong with that. That is a excellent reason to be in a stock. But if you don't believe in his vision, things are not looking good for Tesla in the shorter term, meaning the next year to 2 years. It's going to take a while for what he wants to do to come through. Sales are dropping, deliveries are dropping, things are not looking great. H cell pattern on the daily chart setting up here. Could not hold above 340.80, a big level. If we're under that, watch that 325.10. Guys, what else should we talk about? I mean, we traded a lot this week. It wasn't easy. Um, traded Tesla a bunch, traded Nvidia, Microsoft, Baba. Got to talk about Baba. Couldn't remember that. Thank you. Baba was a rock star. Big move up. Traded the hell out of it yesterday. Even traded again today. Nice move up on earnings. They had a big beat, looking great. So we'll keep an eye on that. Palantir, should probably talk about that. Palantir beaten up badly the last 3 days. This defense cut's a possible problem. Your CEO dropping $1.2 billion worth of shares. That's another potential problem, right? That's some selling pressure. Hood, despite that great report, gave that all back. So we're seeing some weakness. Carvana was an okay report, but getting slammed because it had run a ton. Again, when you're up this much, earnings have to be perfect. So with that said, I'm going to do charts on Sunday. For you guys who are members, post any charts in here you want me to look at. It's shopping time. I'm looking to buy the dip. I'm looking to see what happens. We have NVIDIA next week. We have Snow next week. We have Salesforce next week. We have Lowe's, Home Depot. Retail starts to come into play. Busy week ahead. Hope you're all doing well. Have a great weekend and charts on Sunday morning.